Contrary to popular belief, Islam is not a new religion that came into existence a mere 1400 years ago. Islam in truth has existed since the first moment that man set foot on earth. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the last prophet tasked with conveying the final form of Islam, which was the continuation, the culmination, the completion of Allah's universal message to mankind, as revealed to all of Allah's previous messengers and prophets. In the 6th century CE, Arabia was a polytheistic society with many gods and goddesses worshipped by different tribes and communities. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born into a family of merchants who were active in the trade routes throughout Arabia, and he was exposed to the religious beliefs and practices of many different communities during his travels. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was often conflicted about the beliefs and evil practices of his people. Around the age of 40, he started to experience visions that would come true. During that time, he frequently meditated in the cave of Hira, located on the outskirts of Mecca. But on one fateful night in 610 CE, while in solitude at the cave of Hira, the revelation of the glorious Quran began. The Night of Glory, which Muslims refer to as Laylatul Qadr, is a night that marks the revelation of the Quran to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by the angel Jibreel. Allah revealed the glorious Quran in parts over a period of 23 years to the Prophet. However, the first revelation happened on the Night of Glory and marks a significant moment in the founding of Islam. The exact date of the Night of Glory is unknown. However, it is known that it is one of the odd nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan, the 9th month of the lunar year. It is considered the holiest and most significant night for Muslims, who spend entire nights in prayer and devotion, hoping to earn its blessings. The Revelation. The account of the first revelation was narrated as follows. The angel came to him and asked him to read. The Prophet replied, I do not know how to read. The Prophet added, the angel caught me forcibly and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it any more. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it any more. He then released me and again asked me to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me, and then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging clot. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen. Bukhari. At first Muhammad, peace be upon him, was confused and didn't understand the experience. After he described what had happened to his wife Khadija, she comforted him and stood by his side. Upon receiving further revelation, he was instructed to convey Islam to his people. However, unlike Khadija, they were not so understanding, and most of them rejected his message. They believed his words would anger their gods and disrupt their prosperous trade routes. Despite this, the people refrained from taking any action beyond harsh words, because Muhammad's, peace be upon him, wife held a great deal of influence in Mecca, and his uncle Abu Talib was the chief of the Banu Hashim clan. This provided Muhammad, peace be upon him, with some degree of protection. However, in the year 619 CE, both Khadija and Abu Talib passed away. This became known as the Year of Sorrow, and following his mourning, Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his small group of followers were exposed to physical persecution from the Quraysh tribe that controlled Mecca. Migration, Hijrah. In 620 CE, during the pilgrimage season, Muhammad, peace be upon him, met with delegates from Medina and presented the message of Islam to them. Convinced by his words, they accepted Islam and promised to preach it to their people. They hoped to unite the bickering tribes of Medina under the banner of Islam. Their efforts were quite successful, and Islam spread throughout Medina. 2 years later, a group of 73 men and 2 women traveled from Medina to Mecca, about 400 kilometers, to secretly give their pledge of allegiance to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Upon hearing about the incident and fearing the consequences of Islam gaining ground, the people of Quraysh planned to assassinate him. Allah revealed their plots to Muhammad, peace be upon him, and permitted him to leave for Medina. This journey is known as the Hijrah. During his time in Medina, Prophet Muhammad continued to receive visits from Angel Jibreel and shared the divine messages with his growing following. Islam spread far and wide, and it wasn't long before the first Islamic community was established. This model for the Islamic State was based on the principles of sovereignty of Allah, justice, consultation, and accountability. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, led the people of Medina through thick and thin, and